Hello, and welcome back to Technology Now, a weekly show from Hewlett Packard Enterprise where we take what's happening in the world and explore how it's changing the way organizations are using technology. We're your hosts, Aubrey Lovell
and Michael Bird. Now, in this episode, we're heading to Las Vegas for HPE Discover 2024. Yes,
Woo!
We teased it with our president and CEO, Antonio Neri, a couple of weeks ago, and there's a link to that episode in the show notes. But now it's happening. So Tuesday saw Antonio take the stage at Sphere in Las Vegas to deliver a phenomenal multimedia keynote, which, as well as being visually pretty awesome, brought us a whole lot of news. And that is what we're examining today. What made the keynote, what it means for the tech industry, and why it matters for you and your organizations.
Oh yeah, this is a very big deal. So if you're the kind of person who needs to know why what's going on in the world matters to your organization, this podcast is for you. And if you haven't yet, like we've said a million times, subscribe to your podcast app of choice so you don't miss out. All right, Michael, super exciting stuff. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Well, we've said it before, but HPE Discover is HPE's biggest event of the year, attracting thousands of customers, partners, business leaders, and technologists to explore the cutting edge in enterprise tech.
There's a lot going on and a whole lot to see and learn, but the event is inevitably going to be defined by Antonio Neri's keynote. On June 18th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, it all kicked off with an AI-centered presentation covering breaking down barriers and changing lives for the better.
So to go over the announcements in more detail and to find out exactly what they mean, we're joined today by long-time listener, fourth-time guest, and HPE Chief Technologist for AI, Matt Armstrong Barnes. Matt, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Matt. So curiously, Antonio pretty much immediately jumped into the challenges of AI. Here's a clip.
HPE exists to advance the way people live and work, and AI accelerates our purpose in profound new ways. To be successful, we all must be purpose-driven, and we need AI that we can trust. That's why in 2019, Hewlett Packard Labs established 5 key AI ethics principles. The first is privacy. Second, AI must be human-focused. Third, AI must also be inclusive, ensuring access for everyone. Fourth, AI must be responsible. And last, AI must be robust and continuously quality tested. We are all deeply aware of the transformative power of AI, but AI is hard, it is complicated, and it comes even with full of risks. It is tempting to rush in with AI. No one wants to get left behind. Yet, innovation at any cost is very dangerous. Example of what can go wrong happen every day. We now question everything we see and hear, and cyber threats are everywhere. In fact, a recent HPE survey of 2,500 IT leaders across industry found that 94% say that AI has increased their enterprise security risks. Following our AI ethics principles, Hewlett Packard Labs is researching, developing, and deploying technology to help protect privacy and stop attacks. With enhanced security, our enterprise on-ramps to AI provide the guardrails to help ensure data sovereignty and brand protection. This empowers you to sense, learn, and react smartly so that you can turn insight into action in an instant.
So Matt, what does it say about HPE that we're now openly talking about how AI can go wrong? And how does the announcement that HPE will be implementing new AI security features move things on a better path?
I mean, it's great for Antonio to talk about that. It's very relevant in the industry. Really important that organizations are embracing this broader concept, that includes how we have human-focused AI with a definite privacy and inclusivity around it. The onward consequences are when we start thinking about gathering AI or data ready for creation of AI algorithms, really we're putting some of our most valuable assets into locations where they become ultimately quite large targets for cyber attack. Embedding cybersecurity into an AI initiative right from the very beginning is a critical success factor because it makes sure that your data is secured. It's governed by role-based access control, another thing that Antonio talked about, to make sure that you understand who touches the data, how long they touch it for, how they transform it, what it's used for, and ultimately how it's going to be securely disposed of, as well as making sure that you've got the cyber resilience in there to make sure that you are ultimately securing some of your most valuable assets in the best kind of way. And really, the HPE portfolio provides the tools, techniques, capabilities, and skills that enables you to do that in the right kind of way.
So, Matt, it was also interesting that the keynote focused very heavily on all the work HPE have been doing for good using AI, as Antonio explained.
HPE is a complete AI solution partner for your enterprise, regardless of the size. We are not just concerned with having the fastest or the most powerful AI system on Earth. We are driving innovation that considers the impact on the planet for future generations. And when you stop listening to our planet, it talks back. It talks back to us. These immersive sounds are what inspired the researchers at the Purdue University Center for Global Soundscapes. Our work at the Purdue University is an example of an AI infancy. We are helping the university preserve these stories by collecting, tagging, and applying AI to massive audio data sets so they can understand, we can all understand the patterns and help preserve a beautiful planet for generations to come. Carnegie Clean Energy is a great example of a training use case. It relies on HPE's AI expertise and AI systems at the Policy Supercomputing Research Center in Australia to design AI-powered buoys that generate electricity using the ocean's waves. By using reinforcement AI learning to adjust the rhythm and the size of oncoming waves, continuously optimizing the energy production, which is proven to be a very exciting, sustainable solution. HPE is using AI to change lives for better. In 2020, over 55 million people were affected by dementia around the world. But there is hope. A groundbreaking study by DZNE, a leading research institution initially focusing on German patients with dementia, has now expanded globally. Swarm learning is an AI technique developed by HPE and is designed to keep AI training results private, but enables hospital research institutions to keep their patient data secure while privately sharing the learnings, the insights with other teams around the world.
This all came under the banner of HPE being your trusted partner in AI, and it seems that it's increasingly becoming the case for smaller, more niche projects and organizations. This opening up of AI resources is it's quite a major development of the last few years, right?
Yeah, definitely. So if we think about artificial intelligence and high-performance computing kind of started off on the same sort of track. And we've seen AI move off to one side and take a slightly different approach. But we're now starting to see high-performance compute thinking, not necessarily the computing power that you need, but the thinking associated with how you run high-performance compute applications coming together with AI again. And that means that you need the right kind of platforms in place and that high-performance capability. And what we've been doing is bringing that high-performance thinking into enterprise or even small to medium-sized enterprise organizations so they can get the benefit of the sort of supercomputing world at any level of scale that you want. The ability to provision, orchestrate, manage, and monitor all of this extremely complex capability using very simplified mechanisms for doing it give you incredibly high performance, massive resilience, and really utilize your AI infrastructure in ways that we haven't seen historically, making it readily available for all organizations to embrace both AI and generative AI techniques to really add value to their organizations.
So then we got onto the topic of network connectivity and edge compute. So Antonio talked about HPE Aruba networking, and again, how edge-to-cloud technology ties in with AI.
Many of you are familiar with Land O'Lakes, one of the America's leading agriculture and food cooperatives. Land O'Lakes has a big dream to connect a dairy and co-op locations to reliable broadband. They turned to HPE Aruba Networking for a solution that will provide more secure indoor and actually outdoor wireless connectivity and support mobility for people, devices, and machines. By using our intelligent edge solution in its dairy manufacturing processing plant, but it didn't stop there. Land O'Lakes wanted to bridge the gap between technology and its farm operations, bringing Wi-Fi to rural communities that lacked access. HPE Aruba Networking went above and beyond to address the digital divide, empowering farmers with applications that could help them in the daily operations, but also in their personal lives. Now, by gathering more secure data from silos to soil, Land O'Lakes can utilize AI to anticipate crop yields. Together, we are laying the foundation for AI, revolutionizing the agricultural industry and empowering farmers with the data and innovation they need to thrive. Early this year, we announced our intent to acquire Juniper Networks. We expect to harness the combined capabilities of both companies to create an industry leader with a modern, more secure, and AI-driven networking portfolio. This will complement our overall business strategy to accelerate the deployment and adoption for both hybrid cloud and AI. What that means, it means for enterprises, managing simplifying complex network architectures and extending into new areas such as private 5G for environments where you need persistent, dense connectivity. And for service providers, we expect they will see improvements to scale their infrastructure, reduce costs, and accelerate the speed of delivery for new services to customers.
So, Matt, are we seeing a point here where all the different arms of HPE are actually beginning to unite under the banner of AI, do you think? Or is that not quite true yet?
It is definitely a step forward in bringing together a portion of our technology. We have to bear in mind that the HPE AI portfolio is pretty comprehensive. And as a result, what this announcement does is it allows you to have a turnkey-based solution specifically for organizations who aren't necessarily up to speed with the complexity associated with the model stack that you need, how you would embrace the data and making it ready for AI initiatives, as well as the compute portfolio that's going to live underneath that. There are other areas of the HPE portfolio because some customers are very mature in their AI tool chain, and as a result, they need specific tools for the needs within that tool chain. And again, the HPE portfolio comes together under what Antonio talked about on stage, but also there is the capability for organizations to embrace individual pieces of it to integrate into an existing tool chain.
Fantastic. Now, we'd usually stop around here for Today I Learned, but we're going to skip over that today because we've got so much to go over. So, carrying on. To run enterprise-level AI solutions, we need a platform. And Antonio was keen to point out that HPE GreenLake, the organization's hybrid cloud platform, is the right platform for AI workloads, be that on the edge or via hybrid cloud.
Building an intelligent data foundation will be the key to your data-driven business transformation. The latest release of our HPE GreenLake file storage is specifically designed to meet the demands of our structured data for AI, as well as our recently announced HPE GreenLake block storage for AWS, a solution that helps you seamlessly manage block storage across your hybrid cloud environments. That is what makes HPE a leader in hybrid cloud storage and your trusted partner to advance AI.
So Matt, once again, this seems to be a uniting of HPE's offerings and a bringing together of a lot of different arms. What are your thoughts?
Having a single pane of glass across your hybrid platforms is a critical way of giving you the right kinds of visibility you need. It is one of the unfortunate realities where organizations are becoming unconsciously hybrid. That is that they're embracing the concept of having multiple clouds, be they on-prem, off-prem, public cloud, private cloud. And as a result, that's creating a level of complexity that they hadn't historically considered. The HPE tooling, which, GreenLake has been around for many, many years now, is about providing that unified hybrid cloud experience that really simplifies adding the AI dimension into that. So again, you can kind of get AI in a box. Very simple to use, very simple to deploy, leveraging the very best of the HPE portfolio. It is all about abstracting away that complexity to provide very simplified interfaces that allow customers to really embrace both AI and Gen AI into their organizations and get time to value significantly quicker, simplify their AI engagements, and really drive that benefit and realization that we're seeing from just the really hype that lives in the AI and Gen AI space at the minute.
Of course, HPE isn't doing it all alone, and a major feature of the keynote was a guest appearance from NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, which came with a whole raft of announcements.
HPE and NVIDIA have a proven track record for delivering innovation. Today, we are taking our partnership further. It is with great excitement that we announce NVIDIA AI Computing by HPE to accelerate the generative AI industrial revolution. So, Jensen, this is amazing because I'm super excited about this joint go-to-market. But can you please elaborate?
Well, theoretically, what AI needs are three components. You need these three things. You need model technology, you need data, and you need compute. However, that's on a theoretical basis. What you need on a practical basis is you need a model stack, you need a data stack, and you need a computing stack. Each one of those stacks are incredibly complicated. And so the work that we've done together is really about productizing and on a really massive and comprehensive way that our partnership is working together so that we could productize the model. We call them NVIDIA NIMs. The data stack, we call that NVIDIA AI Enterprise, and the entire computing stack, which has all of the software that goes along with supercomputing technology. And one of the reasons why this is built in the clouds today, because the stack is so complicated. Between our two companies, we've really turned these three stacks into deployable solutions that you can engage right away.
And while others have talked about integrating these AI solutions, at HPE, we wanted to create something truly unique with you. And so we did not just bring together the pieces. I always like to talk about widgets or doorknobs in the back. That's very complex for you. We have to deliver you an experience. Now we bring it all together, we democratize with all the things you talk about. And that's why today, it is a pleasure to introduce what we call the first of a kind turnkey private cloud AI solution, co-developed with NVIDIA. We call it the HPE Private Cloud AI.
Yeah, it's a really big deal for enterprise today. Every company is going to be an intelligence manufacturer. Every company is built fundamentally on domain-specific intelligence. For the very first time, we can now digitize that intelligence and turn it into our AI, the corporate AI.
So, Matt, there's a lot to unpack there, including training specialists in AI, new data center technology, and a whole new AI-focused private cloud offering. Give us some of your thoughts.
One of the great innovations that's been happening in the AI space is around microservices-based architecture. Jensen talked about that on stage with NIM, which is the NVIDIA inferencing microservices, and really how that's kind of a game changer in bringing that choice and flexibility about how you deploy them. Again, great announcements from around how HPE and NVIDIA are collaborating in the data space with AI Enterprise from NVIDIA, as well as the really capable unified analytics capability from HPE. The HPE AI Essentials portfolio really drives that data conversation in a new direction. And then when it comes to compute, we know that the compute requirements for building both AI systems, either building generative AI, fine-tuning generative AI, or even deploying existing models, does require a different approach than traditional enterprise compute deployments. So add that comprehensive stack together, and you really get a differentiated portfolio that allows you to have just that instant AI productivity gains with just the unified access across your data that you get using things like Emerald Data Fabric to provide that capability that you need, that brings the data that you need to integrate into your AI initiatives, or how you allow your organization to have a conversational relationship with the data that you've got using generative AI techniques.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Matt. So we've had you on the show multiple times. And as an AI thought leader, what are your takeaways? And based on the keynote, what do you think is going to be keeping you busy over the next few months?
I'm hoping, based on the keynote, I'm going to get an easier few months because we're taking away a significant amount of the complexity that lives in building out the stacks that Jensen talked about, especially with the key differentiators from a HPE perspective. It means that without having to understand the complexity of how you build an AI native architecture, you could now leverage that capability using sort of turnkey. And what that means is I can spend more time with customers focusing on how they analyze the data that they have to drive the use cases that really they can deploy into their organization. Because one of the challenges that I see is if everyone views too many use cases without analyzing the data that supports them, ultimately they end up in an ideation world where they're doing too much thinking about what they can do and less practical reality of deployment of this technology. So again, the next evolution and where the most mature AI customers are, they're not focused on use cases, they're focused on the analysis of the data that they have that they can then use to drive use cases, or how they can find hidden patterns in that data to drive use cases. And then taking a data-oriented approach, they can apply generative AI techniques on top, specifically retrieval augmented generation, which is really a way of having a conversational relationship with the complexity of unstructured data that lives inside your organization.
Thanks so much, Matt. It's been great to talk.
That's awesome. Thank you for having me back on the show again.
All right. Well, we're getting towards the end of the show, which means it's time for This Week in History, a look at monumental events in the world of business and technology, which has changed our lives.
Indeed. So the clue last week was, it's 1675 and about time to set your clocks. Yes, we've gone from cutting edge to the distant past, but it's an important one. It's the establishment of an observatory at Greenwich in London for the purpose of finding better ways of determining the longitudinal locations of ships at sea. It was thought that having a set point from which the moon and stars' positions could be charted would help ships navigate. Now, unfortunately, the system didn't really work at all. It wasn't until almost 100 years later, when more reliable clocks were invented that could keep time at sea, that Greenwich actually found itself useful. It became the centre point of world timekeeping along the Greenwich Meridian, creating a reliable standard for timekeeping and therefore measuring longitude on ships. Another 100 years later, it was established as the prime meridian of the world, which also led to Greenwich Mean Time becoming the international time standard in 1884. And today, it's still used as the base clock on almost every computer operating system. That is quite a legacy, considering the initial project was a failure.
That is very interesting. Thank you, Michael. And next week, it's 1974, and Beep, Beep, Beep is coming to a store near you. We have a lot of beeps in this show. I don't know what this one is.
Quite to narrow it down.
And that brings us to the end of Technology Now for this week. Thank you to our guest, Matt Armstrong Barnes, Chief Technologist at Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And to you, our audience, thank you so much for joining us.
Technology Now is hosted by Aubrey Lovell and myself, Michael Bird, and this episode was produced by Sam Datapolan and Al Booth, with production support from Harry Morton, Zoe Anderson, Alicia Kempson, Alison Paisley, Alyssa Mitri, Camilla Patel, and Chloe Sewell.
Our social editorial team is Rebecca Wissinger, Judy Ann Goldman, Katie Guarino, and our social media designers are Alejandra Garcia, Carlos Alberto Suarez, and Ambar Maldonado.
Technology Now is a Lower Street production for Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Cheers.